Yo, what is up, people? It is me, Noah, back at it again. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit of a heavy hitter. It's actually going to be about. It's actually going to be about what losing my dad, what has taught me, or kind of like what the impact has been in my life for the positive and for the negative. So we're going to take it way back to the very beginning. And what that beginning was, the diagnosis, right? Essentially, I'm just going to break it all down. I'm sure that people want to know, and I'm going to make it as respectful as possible. My dad loved to document everything, so why don't I document this, which he cannot. It basically started out as back pain. I remember him being here, and just out of the blue, he had this very severe back pain. He went, got a massage one time, came back, and he was just like, man, have you ever had a massage that when you came back from it, like, you felt worse? And I just kind of brushed it off, and I was like, no, I haven't. I don't know. He always had a little bit of back problems, so I just thought maybe he just got a bad knot, right? I remember one night my dad was sitting there and his back was hurting really bad. I remember him saying that, gosh, it feels like it's on the inside. It doesn't feel like a normal knot. It feels like it's inside. And again, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you never have experience. I've never had experience with tumors or anything like that. So honestly, I just was just like, that's weird. It must just be a really bad knot. And I got to the point where, if my story's correct, it's kind of a blur, but I believe, it just got to the point where my dad's like, man, this is like serious. I gotta get it checked out, go to the doctor or something. And I remember the blood labs came back, and the numbers were just insane, for the worst. And I remember we have like a friend that's like in the cancer world, might be like an oncologist or whatever, and he read it, and he basically was like prepping my dad, just being like, yo, this is not good. Like, these numbers are indicating cancer. Those numbers are really out of whack. Eventually, tests came back, and there was a phase where there was like a glimmer of hope of like, okay, well, maybe this is just, something else, and this isn't cancer. Maybe, it's we can still have faith. And once those final results came back, there was no more faith. It turned out to be, if I'm not mistaken, the latest stage pancreatic cancer. And what that does is, you look up numbers and you see the results, you see the percentages. I'm a gambling man. Now let me just be honest, I wouldn't place a bet on that survival rate. Like, it's not funny, but it's just, and what that did is just complete shock, complete just disbelief, still some blind hope. Well, there's still 3%. Maybe my dad can be that 3% for 5 years. If I could just have my dad for 5 more years, just 5 more years. Like, you're grasping for 5 years. I'm grasping for 5 years. And when I should have been having, let's see, he was 53 or something. Should be having 20 years is the average expectancy in our country. 20 years, it's about 75-ish. It's like, I shouldn't be banking on 5 years. Should be having 20. And and so I'm just, in disbelief that what does this even mean? I can't even comprehend. I've had my father my whole life. Can't even comprehend what this even means. And the hardest part, some of the hardest parts of watching my dad go through this process, because he inevitably did the chemo and the radiation, and with late stage pancreatic cancer, they give you the MOB, the mother of all bombs. They just pump you up with that stuff, and it's just not good. One of the hardest things was my dad always had long hair. There's a butterfly flying around. It's gorgeous. Look at this butterfly. Was my dad always had long hair, man, and he went through multiple different rounds. Essentially, he finished one round, it was looking good, then he started back up in another round, and man, that's when he lost all his hair, and that's hard, man, because at the end of the day, it's hair as a person, that really gives you your identity. And my dad's had long hair his whole life, so that's almost like a call sign. That's like a freaking gamer tag, his long hair. I've never seen my dad with short hair before, and then now he's bald. And man, cancer's so jacked up. The stuff that it does to you, the trauma that it places on you, that alone is traumatic, and that hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. And to see him, I'm gonna share a funny memory, though. I know that's one of the hardest things, but I'm gonna share a fun memory to kind of go on to a positive note here. Is my dad was always a kind of a freak athlete, per se. He wasn't like Kobe, obviously, but no matter what he did, he was pretty good at weird stuff, volleyball, soccer, but this one I'm talking about golf. So that year I was golfing heavy, and it was just something to get my mind off things, and I invited him out. I was like, Dad, come on, let's go golfing. He's a warrior. He pushed through, and he did end up golfing, and he was like, no, this is gonna suck. And I remember he went through a lot of pain the next day, and it just taxed him. But I remember him telling me, he's like, it was so worth it. It just 10 out of 10, right? But so we're golfing, and I guess chemo and the radiation takes away a lot. And one of the things that it took away from my dad was coordination. And so we're freaking teed up to the first hole, and I go up. Again, I was playing a lot, so I hit my driver. It went right down the middle, perfect, maybe 250 yards. And I'm like, nice, that's a good drive for me, let's go. My dad steps up to the plate, shanks it left, right into the bushes. I'm like, oh man, this might be rough. Boom, tees up another one, shanks it left, right into the same bushes. I'm like, dang, man, come on, I feel bad, right? Tees up a third one. He's just like, you know what, I'm not going out like that, come on now. Tees up a third one. He crushes it. I swear he outdrove me, and we were right next to me. His ball went a little further than mine did, right down the middle, 260. We just kind of laugh at each other. I'm just like, dude, come on, he still got it. And I'm not joking you, I don't even think he had one bad shot the rest of that round. He just money, and it's just that's my dad, deep into the chemo, deep into the radiation, all that. It wasn't a pretty sight, but man, was he a warrior. I really enjoy being out into nature. It's just, the air's fresh, you get to look around, there's no screens, it's just rejuvenation, get the legs moving, blood pumping. I work on a computer all day. It's coming out here. Our relationship changed a little bit when he got diagnosed, and that's something that, you know what, like, I can't regret because I can't change it. But if I'm just being brutally honest, it changed a little bit, and I got a little distant. I got a little distant with him. And I don't know. I guess that was part of kind of my grieving, or kind of like how the heck I was processing things. Maybe it was hard for me to see him that way. Maybe it brought up too many emotions, and I have an avoidant. I am trying to overcome this personality of avoidance that I tend to kind of do, and maybe I projected that onto my dad when he was in this sick time, and I avoided. And again, it's not something I regret because it can't change it, and I remember how I was in that time, and there's nothing else that I could do with the tools that I had in that exact moment. So I'm not going to beat myself up over it, but I'm just being honest. I was a little distant. You know, there's something else too about seeing your dad for the last time. You know, he's in the bed. Watching somebody pass away, man, that's just also traumatizing. Like, it just is. It just is. And that's something that, you know what, like, started therapy, and that's gonna be some sort of, like, that's gonna take some time to actually work through that, I'm sure, because that's just a messed up thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I tend to think to myself that what made my dad look like that was the chemo and the radiation. It wasn't the cancer. And I just would wonder how long he would have lived if he just rode out the cancer, and what that would have looked like. What did I learn from watching him through his diagnosis, through his treatment time? What did I learn from him? First of all, I learned his strength, and I developed even a stronger understanding of his work ethic. It didn't matter how many treatments he had. Again, the most severe chemo and radiation that you can even have as a human, he had it. It didn't matter. I watched him work his tail off, film a vlog dang near every single day, and I watched him work and drop to his knees and tears fall from his face because he was suffering that bad, but he was still doing what he loved, and he was still putting out content for you guys. And I saw the tenacity that he had, the will to survive and not quit. I mean, it was uncanny what his will is. There's a little toad jumping across the road right there. It's always so funny seeing reptiles and amphibians now. It just makes me happy. Talking about my dad and a toad jumps across the thing. That's funny. But yeah, the tenacity, just the drive to, oh my goodness, there's 3 toads. My dad's just spawning me with, just throwing a bunch of toads my way. You know, just like no quit in him. It's just really impressive. And you know what it taught me? It taught me that no matter how much pain that I'm feeling, right, no matter how much I want to quit with my little problems that I have, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what am I complaining for? This dude was getting the hardest treatments that a cancer patient can get and wasn't complaining one bit and getting after it. And it's just like, I'm sitting over here and I'm complaining? It's crazy. How did grief show up for me in unexpected ways? Grief showed up for me in very bizarre ways. I'm gonna be pretty open here, and I'm not gonna lie, I saw my dad pass away. Like, I saw him like in his bed, like no longer with us. And this affected me for months after. I would walk around and I would see people and their face would morph into a image of their face but passed away, because I saw my dad that way, and the grief struck me in a way where, just to be super blunt with it, like I would see people in public and they would look dead. Like my brain would adjust their face to them dead, lifeless. And that's real. I'm a very creative mind. Like very creative, and my mind took that creativity and to a very deep way, and I'm blessed that I don't experience that anymore, because that was very haunting, to be honest. Another way that my grief showed up was seeing old men. Old men would trigger my grief. I would see an old man and I would cry, and maybe I'd be angry that day, and it would send me in a loophole of just suffering, honestly. What parts of him live on inside of me? There's a couple phrases that live on. One of them, he taught me a while ago, and I'll never forget. It's red skies at night, sailors delight. Red skies in morning, sailors take warning. And I swear, it doesn't matter. Like, I will just, if I see a red sky at a certain part of the day, I'm like, red skies in morning, sailors take warning. And Gabby's even been like, what does that mean? I'm just like, there's gonna be a bad storm coming. And just without a freaking, it just happens. It just, boom, there's a storm. So that's funny. Another one is, when the moon hits the sky like a big pizza pie, that's amore. I don't know why he used to sing that. I think that came from like a Predator movie or something like that. But he used to say that all the time, especially with a full moon or a pizza around. Or my dad, he would do like, watch out Skip, or like Scooter or whatever like that. Like, so sometimes when Cameron's walking around, I'm like, hey, get out of there, Skip. Stuff like that. Gabby says that sometimes when I talk, I kind of like freak her out a little bit because I sound like him in some ways. So, and you know, although I'm figuring out this like part of life, or kind of like this direction of like, what am I doing? How am I gonna provide? And so on like that. Like, I know that part of him is still in me. Like, he taught me certain things, work ethic and so on. So, and like social media, how to do that. So I know that I can use these skills that he taught me and learn to better the world and create a actual life for myself. If my father could see me now, what would I want him to know? I'd want him to know that I miss him, that I wish he was here to play with my son. Wish he was here to show my son around the zoo, to show him his love of reptiles and snakes, and to be able to pass that down in a way that I can't. Another thing would just be like how much I loved him, and like how much I just didn't know how special that time was that I spent with him. I do now, but I almost wish I could go back just to slow it down a little bit. We got a trailer pulling up behind us, or a tractor, or a damn lawnmower. I want him to know that I appreciate his grind. The amount of daily vlogs he did, the amount of content that he produced, the amount that he just grinded. I mean, holy crap, man. It's just insane. It's inspirational, and I totally get why people like look up to him. And he really was a pioneer. And I miss I miss the adventures that we did. I miss like going to those early days that I started working with him, where we went to Playlist Live and Animal Con, or to Playlist Live and to VidCon. Like, those were the freaking days, man. Those are some of the fondest memories that I have. Those are some of the fondest memories that I have with my dad, where we just had so much freaking fun. It was like the start of us actually working together hand in hand, and it was us generating a relationship that we never had before, and in an adult relationship, you know what I mean? Like, mature. And you know what, like, I loved how much he like actually gassed me up, and basically was like, he would tell people how much I would help him, like help him understand YouTube and do these certain things. And it was just like, man, we were a freaking team, and I miss that. Like, I really do. And I will cherish those moments forever. So, yeah, guys, I mean, that's just is what it is. You know, I think that's where I'm gonna call it. You know, I'll just kind of end it with like, my life's never gonna be the same. I am forever changed. Listen, we all have our issues and so on, but a lot of people talk about how like, oh Noah, you changed, like you're different now, this, that, the other. It's like, yeah, bro, I am different. I'm 25 now. It's like, I'm no longer that 17-year-old that you watched like doing challenge videos and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, that was my life, that was me. I was a little immature, and I matured a lot. And you know what, like, I'm proud of that, because it took a lot of pain took a lot of pain, growing pains, to get to this point, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Obviously I would like my dad back, but as crazy as this sounds, if my dad was here, I wouldn't be here. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be the man I am today if my dad was here. Now, I wish he was here, but that's not going to do anything. A wish isn't going to do anything. So, I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but you know what? Like I said in the last video, it's like, yeah, shit's kind of a struggle, but at the end of the day, it's like, the struggle's good, because I know I'm going to persevere. I know I'm going to come through the other side of the struggle. I'm going to be a better man for it, better human for it. I'm going to be able to look back and be like, bro, you did it. You got through that. You didn't curl over in a ball and quit, like maybe sometimes that you felt like you should. You didn't do it. And that's something to be proud of, because I know that I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be able to not have as many like worries, and it's going to be good. And a lot of that's passed down from my dad. So there you guys go. A little bit of insight, a little bit deeper level of kind of how I felt and how I processed this stuff with my dad. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know you guys miss him too, so maybe drop your favorite memory of him, your favorite vlog of him down in the comments. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.